what if I told you that one of the most powerful tools for boosting your team's retention and productivity wasn't some complex, expensive strategy, but something you could do in less than 30 seconds? Well, let's dive in and break down how simple, budget-friendly employee appreciation can deliver a massive return on your investment.
This is where a lot of managers and business owners get tripped up. They hear the word appreciation, and their minds just jump straight to big bonuses or fancy events that break the bank. But the data shows that this is a huge and, honestly, a really costly misconception.
Okay, get this. According to recent surveys, a staggering 63% of employees who feel like they're consistently recognized are very unlikely to even think about looking for a new job. That's not just some nice, fluffy feeling. That's a direct impact on your turnover costs. And it's not just about keeping people from leaving. It's about what they do while they're there. A full 40% of workers in the US say they would literally put more energy into their work if they just got recognized more often. Just imagine the sheer amount of untapped potential hiding in that number. So what these stats are really painting is a super clear picture. The cost of doing nothing, of letting your best people feel invisible, is incredibly high. It hits your retention rates and your team's day-to-day engagement hard. This means we've got to flip the script on how we think about appreciation. It isn't just a line item in the expense column. No, it's a strategic investment that pays you back in loyalty, in people going that extra mile, and yeah, ultimately, in your bottom line. Okay, so if we're all on board that it's a critical investment, the next question is, where does a real culture of recognition actually begin? Well, like most things in any organization, it has to start at the very top. Now, here's what's really interesting from Gallup's research. While a big shout out from the CEO is great, the most impactful, the most memorable recognition often comes from an employee's direct manager. It's that personal, close to the work acknowledgement that really, truly resonates. And this doesn't have to be complicated at all. We're talking super simple, powerful actions. Sending a specific, personal thank you message. Taking 30 seconds in a team meeting to give a public shout out. Or even holding a quick call just to celebrate a win. When leaders do this stuff, it gives everyone else permission and a clear model to follow. So, leadership sets the tone, but the real change happens in the day-to-day. Let's open up the low-cost toolkit and look at some practical strategies anyone can use to make their colleagues feel valued. We are not talking about huge budgets here. A simple $10 coffee gift card or just bringing in donuts for the team. These are small, tangible gestures that act as physical reminders that you notice their hard work. And you can really amplify the effect with public praise. A shout out on a company-wide chat channel, a fun rotating trophy that gets passed between teams, or a digital wall of fame. These things don't just make the individual feel proud, they reinforce the values you want to see across your entire culture. But look, appreciation isn't just about treats and trophies. The most profound, the most lasting forms of recognition are often more structural. They show you're invested in the person, not just their latest accomplishment. Just think about the difference here for a second. A monetary bonus gives you a short-term jolt of happiness, right? But it can quickly become an expectation. On the other hand, investing in an employee's growth or offering them flexibility, well, that builds deep, long-term loyalty and trust. It says, we value you and we see a future for you here. And this investment can take so many forms. It could be a mentoring program, some support for taking a new course, or even just assigning a special project that you know aligns with an employee's career goals. It's a total win-win. The employee gains new skills, and the company gets a more capable, more engaged team member. And speaking of long-term value, check this out. An overwhelming 80% of employees say they would be more loyal if they simply had flexible work options. I mean, after the last few years, is that really a surprise? Flexibility is one of the most powerful and often totally zero-cost ways to show you trust and appreciate your team.
Okay, so these are all powerful, low-cost ideas. But the real secret to making them work, the thing that ties it all together, is consistency. One-off gestures are nice, sure. But turning appreciation into a daily habit is what really transforms a company culture.
The key here is to recognize more than just the huge project wins. Celebrate work anniversaries. Acknowledge a personal achievement like someone running a marathon. Even a simple, hey, thanks for your positive energy today, can make a huge difference. It shows you see them as a whole person. And hey, if you're ever scratching your head wondering what would be most meaningful, the best source of ideas is your team itself. A simple digital suggestion box or quick pulse surveys can give you invaluable insight. But remember the most important step, you have to actually act on the feedback. That is the ultimate form of appreciation.
And this really brings everything together. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. True, meaningful appreciation isn't about the pizza party on Employee Appreciation Day once a year. It's woven into the daily fabric of how your team communicates, collaborates, and celebrates each other.
So I'll leave you with a challenge. Forget about big budgets or grand plans for a moment. Just think about this. What is one small, simple thing you can do today, right after this is over, to show someone on your team that you see them and you value their work?